because I'm such a good friend, I've just bought my friend a apparently 2-litre Ford Mondeo titanium. This beast. And it's already got a problem with it. So apparently this car is a 2-litre petrol. If you look it up on Parker's, where you can check the reg plate, it says it's a 2-litre petrol, but that's not actually what it is. So if you head over to parkers.co.uk/car-specs, hit enter, and then this little box here, if you enter in your registration number, which for us it's that, hit go, and then just click that you're curious for work purposes, get specs, and then when you scroll down you can see that this is for a Ford Mondeo hatchback, which ours is. And then you can also see the 0 to 60 times, the miles per tank, obviously ours isn't particularly fast, the insurance group, road tax, lots of other handy little data here as well. So this site is great for whenever you want to look up specifications for a car that you're either interested in buying or that you currently own and you just want to see what it has and what it can do. But if we scroll down, apparently the engine size is a 2-litre. And so the reason that I know this car is not actually a 2-litre petrol but a 1.6-litre EcoBoost is because there is another handy little site called VIN Decoders with a Z.com. And on the site you can actually enter in the VIN number for the car, which you can find sometimes on the handbook or the logbook, in the door jamb of the driver's side door, on the windscreen. And so we'll enter ours in there, we'll hit decode VIN, and if we scroll down we can actually see that here under the engine it's actually a 1.6 litre. It's not quite what I paid for. I think I might have got scammed a little bit there. So I don't know if it's actually going to do anything, but if we start it up, don't need those. Clutch down. It's magically healed itself. I knew it would do this as soon as I try and get it on video. Now what it was doing, maybe I'll cut in a little bit of the audio I took when I bought the car, but thinking that something around the alternator was like ticking. It was kind of going tick, 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 tick. Now, the guy who sold me the car, I think he was just trying to pull a fast one, to be honest, and just get rid of it as quickly as possible. Because he said that it was just been sat for a while and it'll go away and it's like, you know, it's just dusty. I wasn't buying that, so what I'm going to try and do today is I'm going to try and fit a new alternator belt on it and see if that does anything. I have no idea if it's actually going to work or not. It could be the alternator, it could be far worse. So let's do it. But before I get into that, it's time to suit up because I'm not ready. There's no way I'm going to wear this while working on like an oily car. Let's do this. So apparently down there, this is the alternator. And that's the alternator belt that connects to it and it powers many things. It's your auxiliary belt, so it powers power steering, air conditioning as well. So that I think needs replacing. So we're going to do that and we can see if it's going to fix anything. I have just spotted one major issue though, one big repair that this car is going to need. I'm going to show you. The windscreen filler cap is broken. Oh my god. So we're going to get a new one of those. Right. Let's get started. Bored, boring, tedious alternator belt. Oh my god! How long does this bolt have to be? I know you can't see that on the screen, but I'm just removing like a little plastic shroud around the top pulley of the alternator. I'm hoping, it's hand tight. That's the one. Right, so I've just undone that screw. Let's see if it comes off. Hey, that was surprisingly easy. Okay, so there's another like pulley there as well. So it's this belt that I need to try and get off. Now it doesn't, I'm no expert, but it doesn't look that frayed or needing replacing. But we're gonna do it anyway, and we're gonna see if it does anything. So apparently somewhere, and obviously it's not that, but there is a tensioner on a belt, and that's what obviously keeps it from falling off. You can see that pretty on there. So there's no way I'm gonna get that off or get another one on without that moving that tensioner. Now, on the other times when I've done this belt, it's like another cog that kind of sticks into the belt. It might be that, maybe. I'm really hoping it's not down there by the side of the engine, somewhere in the wheel arch lining. I don't want to have to take that off, but if we have to, we have to. So I've put my ratchet spanner on this little cog here, just there. Now I'm going to see what this does. It's loosening, so that's a good sign. Although it could also make things a lot worse. Something doesn't give me, fill me with confidence that that's loosening so easily.
So I'd seen a video on YouTube of this guy that had a similar Ford Mondeo, and he was able to get more access to the belt tensioner and the belt itself by going through the wheel arch, by taking the wheel off, taking the wheel arch lining off as well. So this was what I was attempting to do here, and you'll see why that didn't work in a second.
One locking nut, we're going to need this. Thank God it came with the car. Sweet. So, I'm going to need a 19 for this. For some reason, I've worked on a couple of Fords, I mean literally two, but it sometimes takes 20mm socket, not 19. Answers in the comments. I don't know why that is.
So I think the reason some Fords come with a 20mm wheel nut and sometimes a 19 wheel nut is because they come with a little protective cap on them. I'm not really sure why that's the case.
So the reason I'm taking the wheel off is apparently once I'm through here, I can take out the wheel arch lining, hopefully, and see what I'm doing. Maybe access the belt tensioner. That's the theory.
So here we go. Now what I needed to do first, before I could take the wheel off, was put the trolley jack on something solid underneath the car, somewhere on the chassis, like the trailing arm, anywhere that basically wasn't going to poke through the car. So it needed to hold. Now I didn't want to jack up the car fully before trying to undo the wheel nuts, because you need the weight of the car to undo them, otherwise the wheel will just turn and turn. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm jacking up a little bit, I'm undoing the wheel nuts so they're hand tight, and then I will jack it up completely, and I should just be able to undo the wheel nuts with my hands and then take the wheel off.
Right, so that is one wheel off. Now, apparently, to take this arch lining off, I have absolutely no idea how to do this. I've never done it before. Okay, that's another thing. Although, helpfully, it looks like these just twist off. That's kind of handy. Sweet. I might actually stand a chance of doing this then. And there's another one down there. Oh, good old Ford. Made something easy. This bolt, these clips, probably going to end up breaking a few. Right, is that an 8mm? It is! Good. Oh, hey!
Sorry.
What have you
I
got?
don't mean it. He said that.
That is him. That's very much him. I'm surprised that I had it from you.
No, he was asking how many paratha would you eat?
How many paratas?
Paratas.
How big are they?
Just like that.
Standard parata
Yeah,
size.
yeah,
Is he making other food with it or just bread?
yeah. No, that is coming. Food with it.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
it going?
Two sounds alright, doesn't it? Ish.
Yeah.
It's going. It's going.
Did you find something?
I didn't plan to take this off, and I don't plan to take this off either. But this is what's happening. So we
Fair
will
enough.
see if it actually makes a difference. I might end up just breaking his car even more.
You'd love that.
I think he would, you know. I think he'd be really grateful. Charming. Get abused out here while I'm working on his car. Send someone out to insult me. But it's alright because it's how we show love. And he's making food anyway, so I'm definitely ready for some food. Turns out there's more 8mm bolts than I thought. If we go here, there's one there. There is a 1, 2, 3, 4 holding this arch trim in. Let's get these off. The beautiful thing about these Fords is they're just made of rust. They just fall apart whenever you take them any bolts out. Yes! That's the first time I've ever removed one of these plastic trim clips and it hasn't broken. Although it looks like someone's already removed it and it has broken. But still, counting that as a win. If I can save 2 of the 3, I'm going to be really happy. Even if one breaks. I wish I had my trim removal tools right now. Has it? Yes! I think that's broken. Last one, come on. I'm on a roll. 3 of 3. Get in. Oh, I got too excited. There's one up there. But now with my newfound powers to fix things, this should be a doddle.
So I set about removing the rest of the trim clips and the bolts to free up the wheel arch trim.
I think that's all the clips. This should just pop out. Hopefully, he says.
So I had no idea how this wheel arch lining came off, so I just started to pull at it from wherever I could, but there was a slight issue.
Oh, there's another 8mm screw. That's why it's not coming out. Just a random thing fell off. Ah! Yes! Look at that! One wheel arch lining off. But I've spotted an issue. And there's no other way to say this, but taking the wheel off, taking the wheel arch lining off was completely useless, as it turns out, because I can't see the alternator belt at all. Like, I can see it there, and it's just connected to some pulleys, crankshaft. I'm just saying words at this point. I actually don't know what some of these are, but we're learning. So it's connected to those, to that and that, but I can't see any tensioner at all. Which means I think we have to go back to plan A, jack up the engine, and see if we can find the tensioner that way. But that means I've just wasted my time, so this has all got to go back on again. I said that was a pretty good job. A job that didn't need doing, but still. I've no idea. Oh no. I think this. I don't know if you can see. You certainly can't, but there's a screw hole there. And I think it has to go in there. Which means pulling the arch lining back out again.
There were a lot of different trim clips and screws that needed to be put back on. Some that you could just tighten with your finger, but they didn't quite go as tight as they used to. So I've just tried to tighten them as much as I could, just so that the wheel arch lining wouldn't come off, because trying to find some of these clips on eBay is a nightmare, and you might order 200 of one type and it not be for your car. So it's always hard trying to find some of these clips if they're broken or rusted and you need replacement ones.
Time to get the awkward ones underneath. You joined me underneath the car. Painfully, I might add.
And it was a similar story underneath the car as well. There was about 3 or 4 8mm bolts that I'm tightening back up here, and they just didn't tighten as much as they did before. They're all rusty, but I was making do with what I had.
I don't think they're actually securing anything, those. Click, click, click.
So it's time to put the wheel back on again and tighten up those wheel nuts to spec, of course. And I can't just tighten them up in any old order. You'll see why in just a second.
So I'm having to do them in like a cross-shaped pattern, just because I'd always learned that if you do one up really tight first and then do these up tight later, then it might be sitting slightly off. So for that reason, we should have like tightened that one, then that one, and like that one, then that one. I'm sure there's probably like a scientific way to do it, like an industry recommended, but that's the way that's always worked for me.
So that's the wheel back on, the car back down again, and I'm back where I started. Let's try this again.
So before I do that as well, there are more of our favourite plastic trim clips that we've got to remove. There's one 8mm bolt there, 8mm bolt there, 2, 3, 4, about 4. How hard could that be?
So it can get pretty tiring working underneath the car like this, but there were just 3 other plastic trim clips and 3 10mm bolts to take off.
So it turns out it's a bit harder than I thought. Obviously I couldn't get to the timing belt through the wheel arch cover. Instead, I did see a guy online that did it from on top, which makes sense. But he took this piece of like under paneling off that just sits underneath the engine, and then you're supposed to undo these bolts, like some of the engine mounting stuff, I think is what it is. I don't really know. So I think I'm going to undo that, support the weight of the engine with Le Jacques stand, and then I think I can get access to the alternator belt. Wish me luck. So I've got to jack it up again. Because
What happened with the first time you did it?
There's one 10mm bolt right in the middle
Okay.
that I cannot reach. So it goes up again, so we can bring it down again. Give me strength.
But why were you on the other side? Do you have to, or can you just do it from this side?
You can do any sides.
Okay, is the bolt not on the other side?
It's perfectly in the middle.
Oh, is it? Right, fair enough.
Right in the middle. Unless I've got Mr. Fantastic arms that I can reach all the way through. Nope. No, definitely not. It's like half of my torso will be in there. Let's do it. All this for a belt.
Would it be easier on the Civic, would you say?
Oh, everything's easier on the Civic.
Civic being
The
right there.
beauty of a car.
Is it?
Only in my eyes.
Oh, fair enough. But no, is it genuinely easier?
Yeah, probably because all my underpaneling's been taken off years ago. So that makes life a lot easier.
I see.
Right, that is one underpaneling thing coming out. So that's done. Car is jacked up a little bit. So apparently now I can undo this bolt, this bolt, literally just every bolt I can to try and get this out of the way and to give me some space so I can actually see the belt and hopefully finish this before it goes dark. Oh my god. Let's see if we can gently persuade it. That's the ticket.
So I was expecting these bolts to be a lot tighter than they were, but I did have to be careful that when I was undoing them that the engine wasn't going to drop or shift. So I had it jacked up underneath, but there was still that worry.
Oh, ice cream man, ice cream man.
Ice cream man! Ice cream man!
Unless the ice cream man can help me. Oh, slowly coming out. Although the engine, I hope, just doesn't fall through. It doesn't look important, surely. Yes! Finally. So I was able to remove that. Now I can get access to that little bolt there. Yes! Finally, and then maybe this whole thing will come out and then I can just get access to this belt a lot easier. That's the hope. Fingers crossed. I think, with a bit of luck, this should come out. I hope. Come on. Not you. The dustiest car. Oh. I think. Stay with me, camera. Stay with me. I think this will come out. Yes! Whew. I think it's an engine support. I don't think it's a mount. Oh, yes. Finally. The question is, can I actually see the alternator tensioner now? So this is what it looks like now. Obviously that's all been removed out of here, that big engine mount thing. And let's just loosen out the way. Stay there. So I think maybe that's the tensioner. It looks like it because there's the belt loops around here. I don't know if you can see that. So it loops around there, there's like a little cog that it fits around and it just gives tension to the cable. So I think if I can slacken that off, I can take the belt off as well. Let's see if this works. So I'm hooked round what I think is the tensioner just down there with this long bar. So if I push it, it should, in theory, loosen off the belt. Ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Yes! So here's my little amazing drawing of how the belt fits back together. There's the alternator there, which is that big block there that generates all the electricity for the car. So without that, you're not really going to drive anywhere because the battery will run out. You've got this mystery cog that I put with a question mark. These big ones, which one's probably to do with the crank. I don't really know. And then it goes around that big one. And then there's the tensioner to add tension to the whole thing. So you kind of see that's roughly what we got. But the issue is, even though I can loosen it, I can't get the belt from behind this. Like the tension is stopping it, even if I take the tension out, which I don't get. So if anyone in the comment section knows how to get some of these belts out where they're trapped behind the tensioner, please let me know. Sit rep is not looking good. I can't get I've took the belt off. You can see it's just flapping there. But I have to remove this bolt and this bolt, and I think take the whole tensioner off. Because it just, this little cog, it loops around, it's sat right up against the engine. And I just can't pull it out from anywhere. This is a real pain. Who made these Ford engines?
Thankfully the engine stayed in place once I removed the engine mount and the bolts. I probably could have taken the belt off without taking the tensioner off, but there was just no space to get it behind that cog, so I thought it best to take it off.
How long is this bolt? Got me a little bit worried then that I was seeing some kind of liquid come out of that. Jason does not like liquids.
Thankfully there was no liquid that came out, but then again they were the world's longest bolts.
One big bolt lives there now. So it turns out this was the cause of all my problems. And I had no idea that I had to take the underpaneling off, what else did I take off? Everything. This engine support bracket, whatever it is, this big chunk of metal that was sat there, just to get to this, so you could slip that belt on and off of this. Crazy. One belt free. Finally, one new belt. Look at it. First, I'm going to check. Is it the same length as the old one? Because if it isn't, and it doesn't have the same number of ribs as well, it's these little bits inside, I don't know if you can see that. It's ribbed for the alternator. Yeah, same. Thank you, eBay. Just make sure we're going to throw away the wrong one. I mean, it doesn't look that worn. I mean, it's got some marks all along it, but now the fun part, putting it all back together before the sun goes down, of course. Right, now it's time to do up the world's longest bolt. I don't know how to deceive you, it looks like it's all the way in, but it's not even started. I'm gonna be here a while.
A few moments later.
Done. Well, not done. Halfway through. So now I need to try and get the belt on the alternator because we need electricity. Now that I've just took off accidentally. If you want to do that, it's going to loop around that big one, and then that middle one is going to go behind here, and then it's going to come on around this one.
But then, disaster.
Oh dear. I don't know if you can see that. The nut that is used to tension the car has just snapped. So I'm gonna have a real hard time getting that belt on without it. But I've got no choice. You can see that in there, it's just sheared off. Sit rep, because of that nut has broken off in the socket that I showed you, I can't get the belt around all the pulleys and everything. It's just there's too much tension in the system, which is what it's supposed to do. But with the light fading fast, I don't think I'm going to do this anytime soon. Definitely not tonight. Which means he's not going to have a car for a bit, which isn't going to be great. So I'm going to have to probably find a new part, a second-hand one at a breaker's yard, and just fit it so that I can actually put it all back together again and it all works. So it's day 2, trying to fix the Ford Mondeo, and I'm here at a breaker's yard in Nottingham, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to get, they do have Ford Mondeo diesel 1.6 litre. Obviously the car we're working on is petrol, so hopefully they use the same tensioner. In my mind they do, but we're about to go find out. Let's get it. Slightly bad news. So I found the car, I found the Mondeo, but it's the wrong tensioner. That one's not going to fit our car. Sadly, no luck. So I've tried calling around a few breakers. They either don't have the cars in or they have the wrong kind of car. That's just not going to work with ours. So I think it's got to be an eBay job. Try and find a second-hand, brand new one to me. We are back with the Ford Mondeo, and we have now a brand new second-hand belt tensioner. Had to buy this from eBay because I couldn't find it from any breakers, as you already saw. And I'm hoping this will actually fix the problem that we've got. Oh, it was there. It's still good. It's a bit
not
old.
broken, is it?
We'll find out.
Fair enough.
But it looks like it should do the trick. Everything seems to be in the same place. So we'll find out when we can get this on the car and get the old one off. Fingers crossed that this actually works. The Civic just gets used as a tools car. All it does is just hold all of my tools.
As you can see, I'm clearly dressed for the occasion.
What have you found?
Well, so the bit that was broken was in there, and obviously you don't have any tools to fix that. So what I tried to do was put that in there and try and hammer my way out of it. But what I've realised is that that's got stuck in there.
Nice.
So
That was my doing, wasn't it?
either I could hammer through and see if I can get this out anyways, or try and pull this out. But then if I pull it out, I think that'll go back. It's a long story, but what I don't know. Part of me just goes, oh, I'll just keep hammering and see what comes out. But
Hammers are always the way forward. It fixes
also
everything.
we've got these little grooves, if you can see. And even though I want to power through this, what I don't want to do is ruin those grooves, because obviously we won't be able to use them again. So, let me get off my old knees.
Just keep whacking it. I'm sure it'll work.
See if it comes out. You can see it starting to like
No, it's fixed already.
coming out of that other end. And what's also true is this screw. Oh, it's loosened up.
Hey, does it come through?
No, so now I need just something to pry this away from that, and then I think once it's off that, I should be able to pull the screwdriver away.
Sweet.
So, what do we need? What do we need? What do we need?
Bigger hammer.
Well, that would help. What I need is, I need one of these, and I need to be able to get through here and leverage this a little bit. Don't want to ruin that either. So that's starting to come out, which is good. And I think if I just...
Because I literally couldn't get this out. It was stuck in there and I was ready to say goodbye to my precious little toolkit.
Okay, so this just needs to come off that. And what we need here is ideally a little bit of WD-40, to be fair, to loosen up a little bit, I think. But also, I'm just hoping that I can press on this. But I don't think I've got enough strength to pry this away from it.
Hammer it on the floor. Just put it on the side and just smack it.
You know what I could do?
Answer to all
Sorry.
life's problems.
Just power your way through it. Absolutely, I agree. Right.
Join us at the hammering station. With Boz's
use-
sophisticated tools.
This and do that.
Hey!
That is how you do
That's
that.
more like it.
So that's the broken part from,
Look
what
at
was
that.
it?
That sheared off the belt tensioner. That completely came off the whole thing. Like, that was just forged metal.
Good
That's
quality.
crazy.
Obviously, it's lasted about 14 years. But yeah,
Lasted a long time.
so pull that out. Ta-da!
Done.
We've got that sorted. Beautiful. Right.
That is the new tensioner on there. Tightened it up. I don't know if you can see that. Let me move this. So, I say new. It looks like it's about 20 years old. But all I need it to do is just that bolt to stay intact and not completely evaporate when I try and turn it. So I've got a handy little professionally drawn diagram for where the belt goes. So hopefully I can follow my scribbles and get the belt in the right place so that the engine can actually run again. Here's hoping. What do you think?
Sure, let's go with it.
That's the spirit. I'm jiggling.
Is this the big moment?
This is the moment where we find out whether our second-hand part stays together and doesn't break when I try and take the tension out. So, here it goes.
It's all come down to this.
Oh, I'm so nervous. If I get it on. Come on.
Nice and easy.
Right,
Uh-oh.
it's in place.
Okay.
So all I need to do, make
Yep.
sure it's on, and then push it towards the windscreen. Hopefully, it loosens and doesn't break. Here we go. Yes! Right. Oh, quickly put the belt on. I don't know how many chances I get to do this. I think that has done it. Can't get my tool out. Oh well, it lives in there now. I don't mind that.
That's alright, we can use it. Drive
But-
around with it. If
but
we
the
ever need to
engine-
change the belt, it's all there.
I'm jiggling.
That's how you fix the car, guys. Just
This is what they teach at Ford.
yank.
How you're supposed to fix these engines. Just get your tool stuck. Come on. Yes! Wasn't worried. I wasn't worried at all.
I didn't doubt it one bit, my friend. You want to just explain what exactly have we gotten up to here? So let me get a top angle, top view.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can see it. I'm going to stand a little bit here so you can get a bit of shade here. And hopefully you can see this. So, yeah.
Belts
Go for
on. Belts on. Looks nice and tight.
That's the bit that we've changed, sorry.
We swapped this whole like tensioner bit, this belt tensioner thing. So
Yeah,
it's
no,
just
you guys can't see it.
this little bit here. It pulls the belt to one side, so it adds tension to the whole thing, so it's not flappy. Nobody wants a flappy belt.
Yep.
And it goes around all these many cogs that I will pretend to know what they do. I think one of them's the crankshaft pulley, maybe that one?
So they're all pulleys, aren't they?
Yeah, it just keeps the engine turning over, moving things, powered, and the alternator as well. So yeah,
Brilliant.
that is all in the right place, according to my amazing artwork.
Let's zoom in on the artwork. Look at that.
Look at
beauty.
this. Exactly.
Brilliant.
Can
This
anyone,
is stuff NASA uses. But anyways,
can anyone follow what's going on? Is it just me?
there is a bit that we've changed, which is further in here, down here. And then we wanted to fit this belt on there. And as Jason mentioned, it's gone around all the pulleys. He's managed to take the tool out, as you've seen just now. Yeah, let's hope it works. You know, parts aren't that expensive. It's normally labor that's really expensive, and how we can kind of do things
100%.
ourselves. I think it still costs a lot less than taking it to a garage and trying to get it changed there.
It's minimum £200 every time you go. Even if you just want an oil change, it's like maybe half an hour if that. They'll be like 200 quid, flat rate. You're not paying any less than that. Maybe I just go to the wrong garages, but if you know any cheaper ones, let me know.
Yeah, absolutely. Plus, it's always good to know what's wrong with your own car and how to fix it.
That's because I'm weird and I tinker with it and take bits apart. I think we should fire this up.
Really?
Should we do it? Let me just, before I do that, I'm gonna make sure I've tightened up everything because there are a couple of bits that I left a bit loose. And just for that peace of mind, let's get them tightened again. How much do you think this is gonna fix the problem we're having?
That was the first stage, wasn't it? Trying to change the belt. Obviously, it's the cheapest thing that we could do. My hope is that it can fix it, but you never know. I think, you know, it could be the pulleys, it could be something else. When we got this car, it's not been that long. Obviously, it's an old car, but we got this 2 months ago, a month ago, something like it. Everything that we saw on Car Vertical to just going through all the checks were brilliant. apart from that sort of ticking noise that we found, but we knew we could fix it. So let's hope it's not costly and we've not made a mistake here. So what are we about to do now?
We're going to start the car.
Uh-oh.
This is
And
where we find
Jason
out.
has said his famous last words, which are,
We're going to try.
no. What's
Start.
the worst that can happen?
Oh yeah, that. Well, I guess we'll find out.
This is where we find out our risk appetite, which is huge.
Oh my god, how close do you sit?
Never mind that, guys.
Are we ready? Here goes. Oh, the battery's not connected. That's why.
Right, we'll get back to this in a second.
Battery's back on now. So now we have electricity. Hopefully the battery's not flat, but it shouldn't be. Let's give this a go. See if she starts. See if I did it correctly. 3, 2, 1.
Hey, look at that. Right, so probably time we go and have a quick look at the belt. See if that's working.
It's going round. I can't out of the wind. Happy days. Woo! The engine's not fell through. It's not fell apart. Nothing's flew off yet. So I think we can just reattach this and we're done. Hard Pies are remembering where everything went.
Oh dear.
That's the problem. It's been, obviously you guys in the video haven't seen this, it looks like just straight away, but it's been about a week since we got the part, so yeah, trying to remember all these things is going to be a bit of a challenge. That's part of the fun, is using the wrong bolt and then realising you have to go backwards.
Is it lefty, loosey, righty-tighty, is that right?
Sure is. This is the first time you're using the ratchet.
So tell me again, sorry, start again.
So if you turn it clockwise,
So that way?
that's counterclockwise.
It doesn't seem to want to go that way.
Yeah, that's because it's trying to tighten it and it's supremely tight.
Okay, so
That's the problem. So for
yeah,
those
that-
watching, you can see that bolt is just incredibly rusted and it doesn't want to budge at all. I
go
mean,
that way.
it is kind of used for the mountain, for the engine, which is kind of useful.
Because I've never used this, I don't know how it feels, so now I'm just trying to understand which way I
So
should
when it's
go.
not doing anything, it clicks. So it's a ratchet. And that's the reason, so you don't have to keep taking it off and putting it back on again. So the beauty of these tools is you just keep it on in one place and twist it one way, twist it the other, and it'll only
Hold
tighten
on,
it.
if I try and push
Or only
it
this.
clockwise, it just doesn't do anything.
Yeah, you got to put some effort into it.
Well, I am, but it feels like it's going to break it. Is this how you do it?
No, that's doing nothing. That's what the ratchet's for, so it doesn't actually loosen it.
Okay.
So now all the directions are reversed, so it's
So I'm going that way, yeah?
counterclockwise, yeah, to loosen it.
Yeah.
See this?
But I thought it just did this thing where you did this motion and it kind of does it all by itself.
Well, not by itself, but
Oh, does it not? That's what it felt like.
I wish. I wish it was that automated.
So you're pressing up against it, basically.
It's just like a normal not screwdriver, spanner. But it just means you don't have to keep taking it off and putting it back on again. So you still have to use brute strength. There we go.
Oh, I get it.
You can feel that.
Makes a lot more sense.
Right, we've got a slight noise. Just throttle it up again.
Slight.
A slight noise.
So it's okay up to about 3,000 RPM. Slowly raise it to see if it's definitely through. And then after that, it starts to.
Oh, it's so loud. So how'd you like new belt?
And you can hear that as soon as it goes above 3,000. So here. It did that, but it kind of went away.
Not so much.
Yeah, so maybe it's settling in, I don't know, but this,
Probably.
the issue with the sound was always there anyways. So there is a good to fair chance that the belt hasn't actually fixed the issue that we have. But at least we've kind of eliminated one thing from from whatever was going on. But generally below 3,000 RPM, as you can probably tell, it's actually quite smooth. You don't see any kind of rattling going on, which is a good thing.
Any rattling
This is a
here?
40 mile per hour road, so we're going to try and get it up to speed. And so it's
Obviously
about
40.
40 at the moment.
We are safe
You
law-abiding
can see-
citizens.
You can see that it's pretty smooth. There's no rattling,
Yeah.
so that's always a positive. But obviously, just not ideal when we're idle and then we get it over 3,000, or when we're in a lower gear and we get up to 3,000 and suddenly it starts to scream almost, which isn't great. But
The thing is, it seems to go away. Like, it's not as loud as it seemed to be.
so you can hear it there.
It does have a whine, yeah.
Yeah, which isn't ideal.
It's just, I don't think the belts touched it. I think that noise is the one before. That we had like that rattling underneath the driver's seat. Which is weird because there's nothing there. Are we gonna have to change that alternator?
Possibly. Maybe that does it.
At least we're experts at taking that out.
Okay.
Turned to the other dwarf, presently chained to Sergeant Detritus.
Why is this free
And
CD
you,
we got?
What was your part?
So we're back again. It's the next day. And we're going to try and find out what has been the cause of that rattling at 3,000 RPM that we got in the earlier on in the video. So I'm thinking, it's quite a shame for me to admit this, but I'm thinking it may be because I didn't do up the tension of bolts enough that hold that tension on, those two bolts at the top. If it is that, then happy days, we've sort of fixed it, or fixed the problem that we made, but if it isn't, then it's going to be something else. So for now, we're going to have to take the underpaneling off again, take the engine support mount off again, jack it up a little bit so we can access those bolts. So we have to do exactly the same as what we did earlier on in the video. Wish me luck. This one and this one, but I don't know if they're done it tightly enough. So the bad news is that those bolts were actually tight enough. Those ones there, they were actually tight enough. So I don't think that's the cause of our rattle, which means trying to find out what is. That's gonna be a story for another day, I think. Right, so that's the engine mount back on, properly tight. I think that's the right bolt in there, I think. That obviously doesn't go in there, but it lives there now, so it's going to get used to its new home. They're all back in, only this left over which goes in there, so I'm going to do that now. And then all the underpaneling back on again, and I can take this jack out. I don't think it's fixed anything, but it was worth a try. Let's give this a start. Let's see. Well, the good thing is the filling up the washer fluid actually helped. So that's a problem fixed. Let's rev it. Yes! The mighty power of my tools is... It's not fixed it. Where's that noise coming from?
That's a ticking noise. So if you come through, So, if you guys can hear it, obviously the engine's that noise, but you can hear it little. And so that noise gets a lot louder when the RPMs go above. I think this time around you probably took the RPMs over 4 or 5,000.
I did.
And you can definitely hear it. But the noise that sort of gets louder is that ticking noise. It's not like any other noise is creeping up. It's the same ticking noise, it just gets louder.
So I can't hear it now. But it was doing it.
I can hear the ticking noise.
Oh yeah, I can as well, actually.
What I think would be a really good idea is if we had another Mondeo exactly the same age range, and we could just compare it side by side. Because
Yeah.
I don't know if it's. I think that there is that ticking noise, but I don't know if it's just generic Ford engines that sound like that. Who knows?
I was literally thinking that. It's just a
Who
terrible
knows if it's
1.6 engine.
Just a thing that it does. And I think if we had a side by side comparison, we would be able to sort of, tell what it is.
Ticking's never good.
Yeah,
not a
but I
good
think
sign.
the ticking's been around for a while, and obviously, there isn't a definite kind of thing. And I think changing the belt would have had some effect, but it really doesn't think it's done anything.
Nah. It just probably needed doing. It was like, to be safe. It was the cheapest thing to replace, like £13, so that was easy. But maybe the next thing is the alternator. See if that does anything.
Sure.
Which is going to be like 150. The alternators on this are like more expensive than I'm used to. But I'm sure there's way more expensive ones in like other cars. So it's another day and we are back to working on the mighty Ford Mondeo again. But first, I'm gonna have to get it up on these ramps. So I've just basically put, because I don't have a lift or anything, which is kind of a pain, and trolley jacks aren't good enough. So I put the little ramps, that's the word. Put the ramps underneath the wheels, so I'm just gonna drive up it. This always gets me nervous every single time I do it, because I did once actually overshoot the end of this, and then the car just kind of, beached itself on them. So let's not do that again. Let's do it. So one thing I have spotted is down here. It's got me a little bit worried. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. It's like a little bulge. It's like a little spot on the wheel. Now, that's a little worrying. To me, that says the tyre's overinflated, maybe. Or there's just a problem with the tyre, but I'm gonna just check with a little pressure gauge and just see what this is reading at. Now, apparently, according to the interwebs, it should be 32 at the front and 30 at the rear. So let's see what it gets. Let's plug this on. So that's what, 30, when I can hold it. 32, 35? 35? That seems quite a lot. Just let a bit of air out. So now it's 32. But we still have a little spot. That could have just been where it was sat for ages though, to be fair. That could have been where it was in the dealership and it just didn't move for ages, so it just got like not a bald spot, but a bulge, maybe. So I'm gonna go around the rest of the car. I'm gonna check the pressures though, just to make sure they're all equal. Because we don't want one really underinflated tyre and the rest overinflated. Let's go. Right, so that's the tyre pressures all sorted. So they're all now 32 all around. If that's right or wrong. The interweb said that 30 to 35 at the rear and 32 to 35 at the front would be fine. So this is what we're going with. It seems fine. I don't think they should be bulging. But now, for the hardest part, the job I've feared the most. Changing this wiper. Now, I know what some of you are going to say, this is going to be the easiest job ever. And it probably might do, but I've battled with these kind of blade wipers before in the past. They just don't like me, so let's give it a go. How the... This is universal, yet every time I come to them, they seem the hardest thing to figure out.
Aha. Success. Now, I should be able to push something. There's usually like a little bit of plastic to push, like at the bottom. But I can't see it just yet. Oh, this whole thing comes off. Even better. So, that's what our old one looks like. Let's see what the new one looks like. Apparently these are universal, so it's not Ford specific, these. We'll see if I've actually been scammed or not when I've actually bought this. Okay, that looks nothing like... That looks nothing like that one. I'm hoping I can ignore that. I'm hoping that's just a spare part. Oh, sweet. And I'm gonna ignore the instructions because they'll only confuse me. So now I'm just gonna pick something that vaguely looks close to the old one. Look at that, bang on, I think. Just check if there's any others. These are huge. Look at that, it's massive. That's close. So I'm gonna ignore all those because they're just not for this car. But instead, yeah, so I've got to take this existing one off. So they put one already. Ah, that came off easily. They put one on already just to help you out, I guess. It's not really helped us though. How do I get this one on? So that needs to come off as well. Maybe I needed that. Maybe I need the instructions. But no, I'm persevering, I'm not giving in.
Why do I feel like that's not pointing the right way?
Oh yeah. There's a little shadow where it was. How's that? Rotate, have you gone that? Oh, there we go, fixed it. Oh no, you've broken it even more now.
There you go.
There we go. No, I still think a bit to the right. There's a shadow.
Wondering why the aerodynamics in my car was all
Yeah.
messed up, and now I know.
I bet you could feel it in the handling.
Yep. Couldn't go through the corners.
Oh yeah, that gives you downforce, doesn't it? I thought it was elephants and monkeys.
Cats.
I've never heard of cats
Really?
making the premium coffee. No.
Really?
Yeah, it's got a... Man, rich people, weird stuff. It's gone through...
Luwak, also known as whatever, is a coffee that consists
Civet cats.
partially digested coffee cherries, which have been eaten and defecated by Asian palm civets. Sorry. The cherries...
Yeah, you got it.
Well, is it a cat?
There's a cat, civet cat, yeah. You never heard of a civet?
No, I don't know cats.
Oh, did that?
Apart from tigers and lions.
Oh yeah, of course. Did you learn this from nursery school?
So we carried on talking about cats and expensive coffee, but then I was starting to make headway with this rear windscreen wiper.
Look at the skill. I have mended it. Look at that. Brilliant. Get rid of this one. Right. Forgot I need to take the underpaneling off again. So I'm going to take all of this off so I can actually see what I'm doing, because apparently there's just like a rattly heat shield that's just protecting something from heat. So let's get the toolbox. Here we go again. So just yesterday, I was taking off these underpaneling again. Always seem to be taking it off. Why do we have underpaneling when we're just going to take it off? And it's still rusty underneath. Oh, there's one. There's two. There is a bit of a leak there, as you can see.
some drips on the end of, what is that? Oh, I don't like it that it's yellow, it's orange as well. That screams coolant, because it looks like a big radiator hose. And it's got oil on it as well. But then it looks like the oil's coming from higher up. So, yeah, there is some oil here, as you can see, which is not great, but I suppose I'm used to cars of this age having some leaks somewhere. But the bit that's got me worried is this. So this orange looking fluid, I'm guessing that's coolant. And I don't know where that's coming from. Because there's oil here, so maybe the oil's dripped down onto this pipe. So this, yeah, obviously that's not a joint or anything, so that oil's come from up top. And this looks like it's, where is that coming from? I mean, this whole sump is covered in oil. Like, this is where the engine oil sits. But I really want to know where that oil's coming from. And where that coolant's coming from as well. Because that is a worry. But the noise sounds is from here. Heat shield sounds very obvious. It's like metal clanking metal.
Like this guy checked underneath and he found some.
Did he?
So I'm not going to deny what he found.
Sure. I mean, garage people say a lot of stuff where you go, yeah, mate, that'll be like 50 quid. Yeah, it's just probably that. Same way they diagnosed my faulty brake pipe, that they thought it was a brake servo or a master cylinder. Ford engines. So I've just spied something interesting. I've seen this pipe and it doesn't lead to anything. Now, I'm no mechanic, but everything should lead to something. That's not an exhaust that goes to the outside, so that should be connected to something. So that is, I mean, this is the gearbox. It's above the gearbox. And I can't quite see where it comes from, but yeah, that isn't connected to anything. And it's bone dry, like maybe it's to do with the air. It's not an air intake, but yeah, let's find out where that goes. There it is. That's the pipe that was not connected to anything. And so it just goes to here behind the bulkhead. That's really weird. What is that for? There's no part down there as well either that it could connect to. Like, it's just, it bends round and ends there. And there's nothing that it looks like it connects to. There's no like female end to connect it onto. That's very bizarre. Okay, so it turns out after some Googling on the interwebs, this pipe is supposed to be there, and it is supposed to be connected to nothing, as you can see, because apparently that is a drain on these Ford Mondeo engines. So it's a drain for this, what's called the scuttle board, so this thing that covers like the bottom of the windscreen and the window wipers. So this is called a scuttle board, and it's, if you're getting water underneath it, then obviously it just drains through there and then down there basically and out the car. I had no idea it was for that, but you live and you learn. So I think I found the source of the coolant leak. Now it's not, let me show you, it's not up here near the reservoir tank. It's actually underneath where the, I don't know what it is. There's these like two solid coolant pipes that go into the engine. Presumably that's how it gets into the engine. It obviously starts cooling everything down, but they are like weeping a little bit of the coolant. You can see it there, that little red, orange drip. So I've tightened up a little bit. Hopefully that kind of stops it, but I don't think it will. I think there's maybe like, I don't think it's just gonna be a case of tying it up more. I think there's like a seal that's probably gone. I'm hoping this. Well, I'm not hoping for the seal, because if that was the case, I'll have to drain all the coolant out and then take that part off, put a new seal on, and then refill it full of coolant and bleed the system. Yeah, and I really don't want to do that, so what I'm going to do, join back at the top. So I've bought this handy little sealant that if you put it into your header tank, says just simply pour and go, so I like that. I like easy solutions. So it's allow the engine to be cool, so the radiator cap can be removed safely. I've already removed the radiator cap, so yeah, it's no problem. Shake and pour entire contents into the radiator. Top up coolant if necessary, drive as normal. Sweet, that's at it. Look at that, it's all full of these like, it's like brass, it's like sand.
I don't like sand.
All like little brass crystals. Did that say shake well? It did say shake well, I better do that. This is really hard with one hand. Well, it looks no different. So in it goes. So we're already between min and max. There they are, we'll be like halfway between. I'm not going to need a funnel for this. Look at that. It's gone above max, but never mind. I'll pretend that's okay. Job's good. Maybe. We'll see once it runs up to temperature. So we've finally done it. Well, we've replaced the belt and it makes more noises now, which you could probably hear earlier in the video. So this isn't the end of trying to fix this car up. It still runs, it still moves, but we've just got to kind of find out whether those noises are good noises or not so good noises. So we'll film more videos of this and actually try and fix this up coming soon. But for now, like, subscribe. If you want to see more of these videos, then feel free to tune in and watch more car videos like this. We've got the Civic coming next. We're going to be fixing up more of this with my pride and joy. There's going to be a whole piece on that. So if you want to see me do that, then watch out for the next video. Peace.
I can almost sing it.
So you know when I was talking about when you're going up on those ramps? Look at the mark that they left. You pogoed in the concrete.
That's just cheap concrete, mate.
Yeah, it's council concrete.
That's what it is.
Look at that.
When I take a breath, you fill up my